Hello, class. Been out in the garden. Okay, we're going to look at grade 6, Go 12.2, where we're looking at how we would describe our data collection. Okay, so we are describing data. Okay, now when we are describing data, there are a couple of key questions we ask ourselves. We ask ourselves, what is the attribute? Okay. The next thing we want to look at is the unit that we use to measure. Okay. The item that we use to measure, or the means, I like to use the word tool. The tool we use to measure. And then how many did we measure? Okay. And so each point of data that you have, you should be able to answer that question. A, U, M, T, M, and H, M. Okay? All right? You should be able to answer that each time. All right? So let's take a look at the first one. The first one says height of plants, and then it says inches, and then it gives the height of the plant. Okay? So now the question is, what's the attribute? Well, when we talk about attribute, then the point is this: what is it that it's trying to tell us? When you look at it, what is this trying to tell us? Exactly, what's the story here? What are we collecting? Why are we collecting? What is it all about? And when we take a look at this graph, we realize that it is all about height of plants. Okay, so the attribute that we're looking at is the height of plants. That's it. Usually it's in our title. So we have the height of plants. That's what this is all about. That's what we're talking about. Okay, that's the attribute. So then it says the unit of measure. So if we got the height of plants, what unit did we use? Did we use so many paper clips tall? Did we thumbprints tall? Did we use sheets of paper? Okay, point is, when we talk about the height of the plant, what unit, okay, did we use to determine the height of the plant? So what determined the height of this plant was inches. That's the unit that we use. We use inches. That's how this is in inches, this is in inches, so on, so on, so forth. So now, if we determine inches, what tool did we use to determine the inches? Well, in this case, what has inches on them that we can use to measure? In this case, it would be a ruler. And then lastly, how many bits of data did we collect? Well, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We collected 10. And that's how that's done. Okay, attributes. Who or what are we talking about? Unit of measure. Okay, tells us how we were able to talk about that. Tools, measures. Okay, by what means. Okay, and then how many is how many. Okay, so let's take a look. Here, the graph is about what? The weight of dogs. So that's the attribute. Weight of dogs. That's what we're talking about. Okay? Now, exactly what are we talking about when we say weight of dogs? Then we're talking about the pounds of the dog. Okay? That's the unit of measure. Okay? If we got pounds of the dog, how do we get the pounds of the dog? We use a scale. Okay? It's almost like writing a story. All right, and how many dogs did we get the pounds on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 dogs. Okay? All right, number 6 is a little different, but we're going to do it this way anyway. Okay, what are we talking about? Speeds of cars. That's the attributes. Okay, what unit did we use to determine the speed of the car? We use miles per hour. How did we do that? What tool did we use to determine that? Well, we could have used an odometer as well as a clock. Okay, so you have an odometer that tells us our speed when we're driving, and then we have a clock to determine how long we've been driving. All right, and then how many cars did we get the miles per hour? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, so the question for number 6 says, the table below shows the speed of cars on a highway. Name the unit of measure. The unit of measure was miles per hour. Okay, see you in the morning.